Your knee is a very large joint. It is sandwiched in between your hips and your ankles and is predominantly responsible for only two movements, flexion and extension. It is surrounded by big, strong muscles such as your quads, your hamstrings, your glutes, and your calves, just to name a few, which allow it to take very large loads. Your knee not only relies on the proper function of itself locally, but also on the surrounding areas such as your low back, your hips, and your ankles. If this entire chain is properly aligned with a proper function into the surrounding muscles, then your knee shouldn't develop any problems. Problems occur when the function into this entire chain is lost, causing too much stress on the knee, which starts to produce pain into the knee. In this video, I'm going to take you through my top tips, exercises and stretches to increase the function into the knee and the surrounding areas to reduce the pressure going through the knee and reduce the pain. Let's begin. My first recommendation for anyone that is suffering with pain in the knee is to go see a chiropractor who can check and correct any misalignments that are occurring in the knee or the surrounding areas. Effectively, if you're using the knee every single day with a misalignment, what you're going to be doing is putting more stress through the tissues and therefore injuring them the more that you use it. So your first step must be to get it corrected at its root. My second recommendation is that if you are overweight, this is going to put more stress through the knee, as you can probably already imagine. So your primary objective should be first to lose weight so you can reduce the amount of trauma that you're putting through the knee. So for this first exercise, what you're going to need is what we call a TheraBand. If you haven't heard of a TheraBand before, essentially this is just a resistance band. They come in many different levels of resistance. I'll put a link in the description below of a suggested TheraBand that you can buy. I suggest buying many different levels. So this one has 5 different levels so that you can experiment with the right resistance for you. So the yellow one typically is the least resistant and the black is the most resistant. So what you're going to do with this exercise is tie the TheraBand around your knees, lie onto your back with your feet flat on the floor. What the TheraBand is going to do here is try to push your knee inwards. Quite naturally, then you're going to push your knees outwards, which is going to therefore stimulate your gluteal muscles. And this is the muscle that we're primarily targeting in this exercise. And more specifically, it's going to target the outer portion of your gluteal muscles with this resistant band. You're then going to bring your pelvis up towards the ceiling nice and slowly, and this part is going to stimulate the portion of the gluteal muscles that are located more on the back of your buttocks. As you come down, just make sure you do it nice and slowly and nice and controlled, and make sure you don't slump down, but you go down nice and slowly. I suggest doing 10 reps and repeating 3 times every single day. Then for the second part of this exercise, instead of using a TheraBand, what we're going to do is place a football in between our knees. What that's going to do is activate our adductor muscles as we try to squeeze that football very slightly to keep that football in place. Similar to the previous part of the exercise, you're going to bring the pelvis up towards the ceiling again, and what the two together is going to do is stimulate your adductors that's located in your groin as you squeeze the football in between your knees. And these muscles are very central for controlling your knee through your everyday movements, as well as stimulating your gluteal muscles again. Essentially, if your knee is not being controlled properly through your everyday movements, there's going to be more stress through the tissues as they go into positions that they're not designed to go into. The second exercise then is called a pillow push. This exercise is designed to stimulate your quads, which very commonly become weak in people that suffer with knee pain, particularly over a long period of time. The portion that becomes particularly weak is the inner portion that we call the vastus medialis. This muscle is very essential for controlling your kneecap as you flex and extend your knee. So all we're going to do, as the name suggests, is we're going to place a pillow underneath our knee as we are in the seated position, and then you're going to push into the pillow with the knee. As you do this, you'll probably see the heel come off the ground very slightly. This isn't our aim, but this is going to be the effect of the exercise. But you're going to focus on pushing into that pillow, and that's going to stimulate your quads. You may not feel too much going on at the time, but trust me, this really will help to stimulate the quadriceps, and sometimes you may even feel a delayed onset soreness the next day. Then the third and final exercise is going to be a dynamic stretch to help to release the tension in the calf and the hamstrings. So what you're going to do here is stand about 1/2 meter away from the wall. You're then going to place the affected foot forwards against the wall, just dorsiflexing, so slightly bringing up the foot, so you're putting some tension down the back of your calf and your hamstrings. You're then going to place your hands against the wall, and then all you're going to do is a push-up on the wall. So you're going to bring your nose to your hand and back, and then to the other hand and back. Just make sure as you go forwards here that you're bringing as much of your body forwards as possible, and you're not just bending through your low back. And you should feel quite a nice stretch that's going down the back of your leg. I'll suggest with this one, repeat anywhere between 5 and 10 times on each side, and you can do this as many times as you feel comfortable doing in a day. So give these exercises a try. Let me know how you get on in the comments below. As always, please do like this video if you found some value from it. Subscribe for new videos every single week, and I'll see you in the next video.